Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here this week. As every week, we come together for shifting and sifting and what's going on in the world, right? Today, I'm like, what day is it? What's happening? Did you get hit by that beautiful moon energy and Mercury retrograde energy? And, I'm not an astrologer, but some of my beautiful community members, you know who you are, you had basically let me know that many astrologers have been saying that we have not been in this energy since the fall of the Roman Empire. So it's pretty intense. You can feel it up and down, but please know and trust. I'll tell you on an energetic side, we said there, with things moving and shifting and truths coming out, and wherever you maybe had a past life memory in those times, they can trigger you more. They can make you more angry or upset, and it's okay. Please feel it. Please move through it. You can't, I always say positive thinking doesn't work because it just literally pushes down the emotions. You can change your perception on something to help you get through it for sure. Just like I say a lot of times, if you have a job you don't like, rather than complaining about the job you don't like, just say, okay, I don't like my job. Thank you, God. I'm grateful I have a job right now. Thank you, God. And I'm grateful that I'm looking for something different and something new is on the way. And then start looking for something new, put that energy out there and start planting the seed. It'll make going to your job a lot easier and better, but you don't want to deny that you're not happy there. A lot of people, we stay in things because you're comfortable, but you got to get uncomfortable. And that's what the world is doing, getting uncomfortable. If you haven't joined us on our new Telegram group, go to my website, tracylclark.com, and join us. It's a great place. We've had many new souls show up, and I tend to be there a little bit each day. So I love it because we can share, we can empower each other, and we can keep uplifting each other through all these major shifts that might seem a little bit heavy for you, or you could be enjoying them as well. So the body might go up and down, up and down. A lot of aches, a lot of pains. I say you may just want to do a little bit laying low for the next few weeks. And if your body wants that, honor that. But get outside too if you can. You don't have to be around a lot of people, but just get outside, get the sun, get your feet into the earth. Thank you, God, and just enjoy that energy and enjoy what it is and what it's doing for you. We have a call-in show today, 1-800-930-2819. And you can call in this week and next week. And then we have guests for the next 2 weeks. And we're going to play, have some fun. And I'm a little bit on a hiatus. So we've got some special new pre-tape shows that'll be coming to you that you can enjoy with some great guests that I know you will like and enjoy as well. Also, June 10th is for 2 hours. If you go to the website, we're doing a 2-hour body clearing and activation. So I'm going to be telling you what's really going on in the physical body. We'll be clearing and shifting together a lot. You do have a replay on that event for 5 days, but a lot of people, it's time. Like we really need to keep embracing and really shifting through the new energies right now. It's really, really important. And we said 2021 would go down in history as the year that so much change and lots is going to start. We're only halfway through. It's kind of been ramping up. So we have a lot to come and your body will feel it. It's very normal, but please be kind and be gentle. So I wanted to actually talk a little bit today. If you read the headline of the show, rule followers. And why rule followers are more dangerous than anything. And I want to put it into perspective, one, so you can understand the rule followers' point of view and what you can do to maybe move and shift through that, because we don't talk about that too often. But a lot of people ask me this. They're like, Tracy, how come there's so many rule followers? Like, really, what's the deal? So rule followers are the ones, and I mean, usually there's a root below it, which is fear. So people follow the rules because they're fear. They say things like, well, I'm just told to do that. Or, I've heard a lot of audios and watched different things people tell me where, they've been asking experts why they do something, and the response is, well, the corporation tells me I have to do it that way, or I have to do it that way. They're rule followers. They're people that will tattle on their neighbor. They're people that will want to know exactly what's happening in the rest of the world, right? Or what's going on in your life versus just really contributing to someone's life. And it comes from a deep, deep rooted fear of where they didn't follow the rules in maybe in other lifetimes, or they've always followed the rules because they had a fear of either being executed or losing their family or things taken away. And that's what's really going on in the world right now, is waking people up. Now, I'm not talking about following some simple rules of, you want to, I always say the rule in our community, if you're part of our foundation, what we talk about is the only rule we have is love each other, be kind, agree to disagree. Like, we don't have any rules. It's like, be good human. That's it. Just be a good human and respect where everybody's coming from, because people are in different growth cycles. So a lot of times, or you might, the traffic sign, okay, stop, go, stop, go. There's a rule, I guess you could say, for people to understand how to keep traffic flowing. And even some of those don't make any sense. But when we're so ingrained with following the rules, you have people that follow the rules have a very hard time making decisions for their own selves, their lives. They're actually terrified of making decisions in their lives. And if you know those rule followers, think about it. So they're waiting for institutions, they're waiting for someone to tell them what to do. We're living in it right now. Like, all these people are like, oh, okay, I can't do this until this. Like, I didn't even know where I lived. Apparently going outside was illegal. I didn't think it was illegal. I thought it was just not recommended. I'm like, you can't make going outside illegal. Like, come on, you people. Like, but you're waiting for institutions to tell you when to do something or how to do something, or you can be waiting for authoritative figure to give you an okay, because then the person will feel justified to move forward in that direction. And then if it doesn't work out, they also have somebody else to blame. And it's really quite sad, because you see it around the world right now. What we're being tested to is to go within your intuition and listen to your inner guidance. But if you look around, a lot of people are like, well, that's my job, I'm just following the rules. Even though they know if they look at what they're doing to another person, it's wrong. They know when the depths, it's wrong. But also, I have to say, I should maybe make a caveat to this. There's a lot of people that don't think it's wrong. They're kind of soulless. I don't even know how to say it. It's like their soul's been pushed out. And so it just gets pushed out, and they operate in a different realm, a different level. And they've kind of forgot about this compassion and humanity space. Now, that's a small percentage. So please keep in mind, it's a small percentage. It's not necessarily the person that's your neighbor that's pissed you off. They're just usually probably scared. They're very scared. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to get a ticket. See, fear, and that energy of fear runs rule followers. The fear energy, the dark energy, I always say dark, light, good, bad, whatever you want, draconian, Luciferian, God loving, like, you got to make up that decision, what that looks like for you in your space. But yeah, think about it. That's why we've had, this draconian energy for so long, running under fear, and then it creates the followers. And even now, like, I look around and I hear so many souls. I say, well, why are you doing that? Well, because I feel pressured. And there's an energy that works in the dark energies to bring rule followers in, to create manipulation, to create like a mass sort of acceptance. So if anybody is feeling weak, or they don't feel strong in themselves, or there's insecurities, they'll very easily come under a rule follower. And you and I've all been there. So even though we're not there now, we're like, yeah, I'm not doing it, because we know it goes against everything of our sovereign being, and it goes against everything that we know. Because pure God love, like, a lot of people get confused. They still say to me, Tracy, like, how do I know the difference between the pure God love? I said, because it's loving, it's kind, it's acceptance. Like, it's not tolerating abuse or someone stepping over your boundaries, but there's a loving way of communicating, and you're looking for the betterment of all of humanity. You're not looking, it's not a me world. It's, how can I do this to better humanity, and what can I contribute to, or how can I contribute to helping another soul or helping somebody else, thrive. So rule followers, yeah, There's a lot of work there. Thank you, God. Let's give them a little shake, like, and you saw it a lot where people would attack you, but it's basically they're riddled with fear. And quite often when I've seen or somebody sent me a video and they're like, look at this woman, and I know you guys have names for them, attacking this person in a grocery store. And I've had many beautiful, beautiful souls even in my community tell me horrendous stories of going to grocery stores and being attacked over the thing of the face. And, I have to say that because we put this other places, but it's sad because it's really a reflection of their fear, not an understanding. And, it's even right now, I'm seeing huge divisions of people that want to take medicine versus not. And then the rule followers that are pushing it. And now it's gotten really weird, like really weird. I don't know if anyone noticed, like bribes. When's the last time we bribed somebody to put something in their body? Like, I don't know. I bribe my dog with a little treat sometimes if he has to take something, but that's about it. I'm like, but okay, that's like I'd like him to maybe switch his food. But other than that, I'm like, that really shows you how desperate people are getting. But again, it's like you got to go in and it's sort of, well, if you didn't follow the crowd, and we'd said this before, you don't want to follow the crowd. That's not how you get change, and you don't get change. So also rule followers are very afraid of change. They're very afraid of the unknown. So again, look to somebody else to tell you. Whereas what we love to do and what we should always be wanting to do is empower each other. And that's what it is. None of us are better than anybody else. Even all the prophets of the world, right? They all will tell you, do not worship me. That's not what it's to be. We are all equals. We're just helping each other up that ladder. You hear me talk about the ladder of life over and over, and we're just here to keep helping each other up the ladder, help each other up the ladder. A lot of times people say, I want to do this, but I don't want to help those people over there. Well, you got to help those people over there. Who helped you? Who helped me? Man, we were all mess ups. If there was no one there to help us up the ladder of life, holy man, we'd probably be dead, checked out, something else, right? So your job as you awaken is to not be better than anyone else, but to see yourself as how can you help another soul wake up? And the really cool thing on the planet right now that a lot of people may not know, I hope you do if you're listening, is that we have been waking up in mass numbers, and people are good. Like I'll tell you, you know why they say the one percenters? I don't know if you know this, the one percenters control the world and the 1% have all this money. The reason that is because if you actually look at very dark draconian energies and people that maybe do evil things or bad things or however you want to term it, it's a very small percentage of the world. Just because it's in your face all the time or it's on media, there's a perception that it's the majority, but it's actually the minority. And this is what's really cool is that the energy of people really waking up and questioning and saying, something's not right. Like even in where I live, like, okay, I don't get into the cases because energetically that's like what they tell you, and energetically they do not match up. But we have almost, I think it's 15, 16 million people, and there's like a couple hundred cases. So I think it was 6 or something according to them. So why is the whole world still locked down here? Because there's other things happening. There's other things going on. Again, use your intuition, use your knowing, and say, why are you guys all still living in fear, knowing that this doesn't add up, right? So again, a rule follower will live in fear and want you to live in fear. And then it just sort of keeps graduating that way. But there's so many more people that are like, I got some good critical feeling, critical thinking, intuition. You're connecting to your spirit body. And what can you do for those people? I'm just like, thank you, God, give them what they require. That's a great tool. If you don't know it, it's a great tool. I literally take my hand and I'm just give them what they require. Thank you, God. It also allows yourself to be semi removed. So that way, spirit deals with it. That way, you don't have to go into judgment. You don't have to go into anything other than observation. Give them what they require. And it's amazing how many people, when I tell them that this is easy, you can do it that way, they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I got a different response, or something else shifted, or they were able to, see a different point of view. And this is what's so beautiful about understanding energy work and understanding the power you have. Because when you start to really hone in on that power, you will follow what you know is right for you. And it may look a little bit like someone else. It can look similar, but you will tune in and you'll be like, what works for me? Like what feels good for me? So remember what I said at the top of the hour. Positive thinking doesn't work and it will never work. You can change your perception, acknowledge what you're going through. That's why the law of attraction, we've done shows on that, really don't work, right? Because you have to put the energy out there. You need to change that frequency, but you also need to be doing the doing. So it's sort of like, remember the show that came out where people thought if they just sat on their couch, and I'm not going to say the name of it, you'll know it. And oh, if I just meditate on my couch, that man's going to, or woman, or whatever it was, is just going to show up. They're going to fall through the ceiling. I will say, I had a client, I will tell you a kind of funny story. I did have a client who had told me that their child, who was living in a basement suite, the person did fall through the top floor, and it was just because the floor fell through. Not a good scenario, but they ended up dating for a little while. So I guess in there it happened. So there, the magically, fell through. But it's like, if you're looking for that person, you got to change the frequency, change the energy, and then go and change your environment. So if you're applying for jobs in the same area, you want to go apply in different areas and just get the energy out there, let different people know that you're looking for something, right? Or if you want to, maybe relationship, same thing. So I know when I went into what I'm doing now, and maybe this will help some people that are in big transition, I actually, the first instinct was, I don't want to go back into corporate, but corporate was the easy way. So there was a lot of opportunity, and right, I kept, I would go into that area, different spaces, and I would create something so I wouldn't follow through on it, or they would contact me and I wouldn't follow through. And really what was happening is Spirit was saying to me, you don't want to sell your soul to the devil. You're not interested in going back into that system. So you really need to do your own thing. You know what? Again, so getting into your own thing can be a little bit scary for people, right? Yeah. Well, it was a whole new space, but I trusted because it felt right. And here we are all these years later. So sometimes it's, spirits is shaking you up. If something isn't working out in one area, it doesn't mean your frequency hasn't changed. It just means you're ready to go into a different direction. So thank you, God. Look for a different direction. And you got to get out there every day. So that's part of the frequency shift. You change it, you change your perception, and then you shift into something new. That's how you wake up even the rule followers, right? Just give them what they require, send them some energy so they can stop being in fear. Say, thank you, God, show them the truth about the situation they're in. And if they don't wake up, you just have nothing to do with them. It might be a one interaction. And a lot of times, if you have that interaction with someone like that, don't take it. A lot of people say, why did I have that interaction? And you can revert, especially as an intuitive or an empath. Don't do that. Look and say, you know what? Maybe they're in my field because I have the bright light that I can shine into them. They don't like that bright light. So I'll just give them what they require and walk away, and don't let it bother you. Don't let it interfere with you. You don't need to do that, not at all. And then they'll probably get irritated, but you never have to see them again. So that's okay. So thank you, God. But yeah, you're going to be challenged a lot over the next, couple of years. Because remember, guys, this is a year that things are really coming to the light, coming to fruition. And then in terms of the karmic endings and things like that on a planetary level, and then a personal level. So your skeletons will come out as well. And then we go into 2022, 2023, right? Those are unraveling and rebuilding. And then I always see like 23 to 25, there's still going to be, you got to understand, 2000 years in this, there's still going to be dismantling and then rebuilding. So it's kind of like one little step. There's a lot of it that moves like in a wheel together, like in tandem, but it's one area, then another area, one area, another area. And people ask me why it's taken so long. Well, imagine all those people that if they're still believing what's been going on in the world, and a lot of them are, because they're lining up to put things in their body that, a lot of doctors are like, wait a minute, let's stop the bus. They would be floored if they heard what you and I know, right? So they got to be with ease and grace and gentleness. So remember that. And then come to the Telegram group, and you'll hear me on a very regular basis reminding you why you want to be patient right now, and understanding that there is a process. Because one thing people forget is God doesn't want to do anything that's really going to rattle you. So if you're sitting in mud or poo for a long time, probably Spirit's waiting for you to say, okay, I'm ready to take a different direction. I'm ready to change how I'm feeling or what I'm doing. And then with that energy, you'll get the new to come in as well. So remember, with the planet, we have to be gentle. We want to make sure that not everyone gets rattled, because if you rip the Band-Aid off tomorrow, we would have people jumping out the window. We don't want that, because they wouldn't be able to handle all of that kind of information that many of us have been aware of for 18, 19, 20 years and plus, right? So when you've been awake as long as many of us have, we've been called crazy for a long time, but here it is. It's happening. So yay. Thank you, God. Okay. I know this is your day. This is your call-in day. So remember the rule followers. Remember why they run with fear. Remember you can give them what they require. And remember, come join me on June 10th and on the Telegram group. Fun things. All right. Thank you, God. Okay. We're going to go to Jen from Chicago. Olivia, if she's still on the phone there.
Yeah, let's see. Jen from Chicago. Hey, Jen, you are on with Tracy L Clark.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Tracy. Hi. Wonderful to connect with you.
Yeah, happy to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I would definitely say that what you said earlier is where I am, kind of the up and down, and not down in a terrible way, but just really not wanting to do anything, and I feel unproductive.
Yeah. Did you notice it got stronger in your field about 10 days ago? Like stronger feeling that way?
Well, what corresponded 10 days ago, yes, was that we had an unfortunate, situation in our family. I had to fly back home for a funeral. So that definitely helped to kick it off too.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of, so you kind of got a double whammy. I have chills here. So thank you, God. I'll start to lift some of this off. When we have, so we have the planets that are like, literally, I call it Mercury retrograde times like a million. Like it's just a really, the depth of the energy that's purging on us and on the planet is like nothing we've ever felt like that. And every cycle we go through is going to be like that for a while. But this one, because of the way you can see it shaking out energy that we really don't need anymore. So things that have been holding us back that, like you said, make us feel stagnant. And it's very interesting because when we do energy upgrades and shifts, the energy field, say, will go out 10 feet and then the body rests to catch up. What's happened in this one, which I've seen in the energy fields, which is crazy, it's like the energy fields are bumping, 10 blocks, and then the bodies are trying to catch up. So you have a few things going on, and we'll start to adjust. One, you can see 10 days ago, you got hit with that, like a wallop, and there's imprints, there's grieving, there's family dynamics, there's a whole bunch of energy that's lifting, that's old, that's leaving. That will make you very tired. It can also make you feel up and down emotionally. We can settle that out a little bit quicker. And then you have the natural upgrade that's going on. So it's like the power zone, the reproductive.
The natural what?
It's a natural.
Natural what going on?
Yeah, it's a natural progression going on, but we have to start to untangle. So I was going to say, like, your power zone, the reproductive area, it looks a little bit like a rat's nest right now. So energetically, and that's just because of a lot of the imprints that are leaving. And what people don't understand is in our power zone, our reproductive area, which is held by obviously our hips on either side, which is stability factor. That's where change comes a lot in our life. Like that's where our career, and that's where babies, finances, like there's a whole lot of information that goes on in this space. So when you're hit with an astrological event, like right now, and then a family event, it's sort of like the energy gets, it looks very, all I can say is like a bird's nest, like a nest. Like I don't know how else to explain it to you, but I'm going to start to pull it out for you if you'll let me.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so when you say power zone and the,
yes.
What did you say? Is that the second and third chakra then to focus on and try to heal?
Yeah. So basically the power zone, I call it the power zone, is the entire reproductive area. So yes, it encompasses the front and the back. So the whole reproductive, from the genitals, birth canal, the uterus, the cervix, and then also the colon, rectum, anus as well. So all that part of the body is considered into the power zone. And the front and back, just like your chakra systems, right, they're always talking. Those organs are talking. And so when we clean it up, it allows better stability, especially with the hips that anchor on each side, right? The hip bones with stability. And when that area gets rattled, like what you've gone through, you can see the energy can get it's like backed up. And then it starts to cross over. It doesn't flow because each organ that people forget about actually has a function. And so we get caught on just looking at our chakras, which we do want to open them for sure, but we have the meridians, we have little chakras. But a lot of times people forget that your actual physical organs, each one of them plays a part in something emotional going through the body. And so that's why I call that area just the power zone, because it's so powerful. It really is powerful. And then it brings the energy up to the heart. And then all of a sudden the heart expands out, and then you get this frequency shift, and then things move again. So does that make sense? That's a big teaching there.
Yeah. No, I was thinking, to send Reiki to those areas, but definitely what you mentioned, all the organs and front and back, to send energy, healing energy, vibrant energy to that area too.
100%. And because what people forget too is a lot of empaths, like all of us that are awake, we've been called to help so many other souls, as you know. So our systems can, like, light workers are a little tired right now. People don't talk about that. They have shame and say, I'm a little bit tired. It's like, no, that's normal, because we've been going out, kind of like on the battlefield, coming back, out, coming back, out, coming back. And it's like, the bodies are like, I need a little rest, but they're going to come out stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm just going to tilt that area back just a little bit. Yeah. We're going to just move a little bit of the family grief out of there too. So just into the cervix area.
Yeah, because, and it's perfect what you said, what's bringing up, these days, because when I went home, I was so surprised at the grief I felt over, I lost my brother 14 years ago, and saying 14 years, it's just unbelievable, because it feels like only a few years ago, but the pictures that my mother has hanging, it just hit me. And so I was really surprised at how it hit me, and was just so fresh.
Yeah, the grief in the body comes up in different layers, and quite often we think that, if the emotion has gone down, that it's, maybe not there, and it comes up in different layers, because also right now there's a big energy that's been triggered. I was talking about this last week in one of my academies, that it's around loss, and how this energy of loss is really big on the planet right now, and grief also falls under that. And I sometimes say to people, we can reframe it like it's a transition. But that energy of loss can come up at various times, can be triggered by many things that people feel they're losing in the world right now. And then loved ones, like literally the core that we've, unfortunately, in the world with what's happened, the family unit has really been pulled apart. And so people are actually, with their heart centers coming back, realizing that needs to come back together in a new way. So it's not uncommon when we go through, and what I've been seeing this year a lot around loss is that exactly what you're just seeing, that we'll then, have this burst or this moment of, oh my gosh, like you said, been gone for so long, but almost feels like yesterday. And so that energy also has to lift up out of the body. As you all know, your loved ones are always helping you, and they're always there. So it also changes their dynamic with how they work with us. I don't know if you know that. So you'll probably sense your brother even more than before, and probably see a lot more signs as well. So I'm just going to adjust some of the grief. And then it looks like, yeah, there's a beautiful light coming in now. So it's actually quite very, very light pink, almost into the white side, but very light. And I'm just going to ask, that's your spirit guide there. Thank you. And we'll just open this so we can command that energy to start to come back into the body. You might feel these next 2 weeks, you might feel like a burst of energy, and then you're not sliding back. If you feel like you're kind of needing to do the rest again, please honor the body. And it looks like after about a 2-week period, then this energy starts to come back. Then you don't feel as stagnant. There's a whole family package that's uplifting here too. So good on you. You are cleaning this for your family too.
Okay.
Seem to be the strongest in terms of your energy and the family of cleaning and being able to move through things with your family.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, that's good.
That looks better. So let me know. That should settle out. You can also get some weird twinges, crampy area. I would say to people, it's different things down below there when the energy starts to move like that. And so it's just very normal. It's just releasing some of the old patterns there. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, and I do work with energy, and I've been doing, self-healing for many years. Any suggestions on how I can clear out maybe things that I don't know is there? Because like I said, that surprised me how the grief was there. But any suggestions that you have on how to do that, or maybe if you see in any way gifts that I have to work with energy that way?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. You have the strongest energy in your family, so you can tell that you've been doing that, and good on you. Keep definitely going. One of the things I like to teach people when I'm teaching classes is like, go to the known or unknown energy. When the energy comes up and you feel it's intense, even if you don't know, like you may not know exactly what the root is, or you may say, oh my gosh, what was that? Because we always have a root cause. And what happens, and people forget to do this, when we're cleaning up energy, you can clean it up on just a very base level of the body, but then that'll still bring deeper layers and deeper layers as the body's ready. But when you feel ready, and I do caution people on this, if you can find that, you go to the known or unknown energy of the root cause. And when you go to the ask spirit for the root cause of the known or unknown energy, then you can start to actually communicate with the body for it to release deeper. And you'll be very surprised when you start to command it out of the system. You'll be very surprised at what other emotions, thoughts, things of people, places, and things that you didn't even, weren't even on your field radar, they start to come up really quickly. And that's the actual new space that we're moving into in the energy fields now, is to be able to move root causes literally pretty much instantly, which we're going to see a lot more of in the next probably 3 to 5 years. People are going to really own that skill within themselves. So having to like go back over and over is going to start to get less and less and less. And you'll just literally, it's right. What is the root? What is the seed? So you'll hear me talk a lot about, even on the radio show or when I'm teaching, I talk a lot about the roots and the seeds, which is basically allows you to trace back the energy. And if you don't know it, or you can't feel it, or you can't see it, you just ask where the known or unknown energy is, and it'll pull it up. And then you will be very well aware within usually a couple of days at the most. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you see that my working with energy, that I'm able to do that pretty well?
You will. You're going to expand how you do things. You'll learn new systems because you're ready to jump. You've sort of hit a plateau, but the more energy and the more tools and the more systems you learn and you come out, you have to mold it your way. That's the key. I say that to everyone. You always have to mold it your way. But then it's going to move a lot more. You seem like you're ready for a jump in the next 6 months. Now, timing can change all the time. So I'm like, you can collapse that or move that forward. But definitely stay on the path for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would definitely like that timeline to move forward.
Yeah.
Move faster.
Well, and also realize that within that time, right, there's usually new things coming in. That's what we say. That's usually that space where you jump off into another level because you're taking in new information. And also, though, keep in mind between now and I always say September, October, so much will keep shifting in the world. Like it's going to shake people up, and then they're going to be looking for people like you. They're going to be looking for all the light workers saying, explain this to me, help me through this. And that's where I always say I see like light workers almost becoming, because we're in a spiritual battle, but I say it's almost like we become the angel nurses on the earth, where they're coming and they're wounded and we can help put them into their path very quickly. So we need a lot more people that are willing to step up to that table for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Yeah. And that's definitely what I'm, focused on and I'm doing.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah.
Going.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're welcome, Jen. Have an incredible day. Hopefully it's beautiful there today.
Thank you. You too. Yes, it is. Thank you.
All right. We're going to go to Diane from California.
Yeah, let's see. Diane from California. Hey, Diane, you are on with Tracy L Clark.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Tracy. Thank you so much, and thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you. Happy to have you here.
Thank you. So my question is, I felt like I was doing fairly well in general throughout the pandemic, even though I had a lot of loss, my dog, my mom, some other things I won't mention. And then at the end, as things seem to be getting better in the world, like everything is worse. Like I have an autoimmune skin condition. My digestion is like so bad. I've got more inflammation, difficulty sleeping, and I don't know. I'm ready to go to. I'm getting ready to go to another level in my career, which involves moving more into being a coach rather than a therapist. And I don't know if that's part of it. Is my fear is holding me back and causing me to be more have more challenges, or if it's the fear of going into the world more. I just don't know what it is.
Actually, you're getting ready to go in the world. That actually looks really good. It looks really strong. It looks like energetically you're flowing. I don't really get that's on the flag. Your body's actually, you did do well through the pandemic, but you were also holding up a lot of energy for a lot of people. Your body just is showing, it's like weary. I'm not surprised you're having some of these effects come out. So I actually, if you're all right, I'm going to remove some of the weariness, sort of like I was just saying with Jen, that your body's wanting to recoup. It's almost like take a break. You're used to going, but it just seems to, it's like, okay, settle down, take a break, put your feet up for a little bit. And I'm just going to adjust. Hang on. We'll do the right and the left side of the body here. So right side of the brain to the left side of the body, left side of the brain to the right side of the body. And let's command the lymph system, the lymph nodes, the lymph ducts, and the lymph channels. Your nerve system's a little bit flared up. There's a lot of pressure on the back too, around the C1 on the upper part of the back. So I'm just going to pull that energy through the spine. Oh, just got overloaded. It's like I say, the body, I've said this for many, many years. I always like to say the body's a reference point, like a computer. If you don't dump the cache, then it gets built up and then your computer starts going this full, this full. Our bodies do the same thing. So let's just do a little bit of deletion out of the cache, the hidden programs in the back of our system and the subconscious that plug it up. We'll start to remove that. Yeah, inflammation in the stomach. So the intestines are showing inflamed, so they look like quite red. So we'll start to actually calm that down a little bit. You've had food sensitivities a lot more lately? Have you noticed?
I've cut out a lot of foods based on a food sensitivity test that I did. I've pretty much cut those out. So I don't know what, I think it could be like SIBO or something where it's just.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm going to remove the actual food sensitivity. We'll start to remove some of the labels and areas because basically, and I've seen this with a lot of people, myself included, lots of sensitivities. And I always was going to the food, but that's what they label it to. And then we start to pattern it in the body. And then when we pull the pattern out, the imprint out, basically as the body repairs and those emotions pull out, then you can eat whatever. I almost couldn't eat anything. And now I can, years later, can eat whatever. I'm going to just pull down the stress levels just a little bit because there's a pattern that runs in the background, higher stress than what your actual body would feel. So it's sort of like a hum in the back of the system. So you would get used to it. You wouldn't even know it's there almost because you do handle high levels of stress really well compared to most people. I'm not sure if you know that, but you do.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, you can take on a lot more than most people. So let's start to just repattern that. We're going to shift you into the new career. We're just going to let that loss go again. And we'll move some of the imprints and the implants from the loss. Thank you, God. And we'll move that to transition. There we go. That's much better. Thank you. Just going to open up the whole stomach area, the processing, so the intestinal tracts with the digestive system here. And then the colon rectum anus, so we can kind of tether that back together so it's not, so your processing center of the stomach looks like it's running by itself. So I always teach that there's three basic centers. Your respiratory basic nutshell, because we don't have all day, is the where we breathe in life, digestion's where we process life, and reproductive is a power zone, the flow of different things in life. And they do talk, and then the organs within them. So you can see your processing center has been taking the lead, meaning that there's not a big, good enough balance. And I'll help you reset this between the digestive, respiratory, and the reproductive, and then back up obviously to the rest of the body and the brain and the intuition. And so we're just going to bring those centers back so it doesn't have to do all the work by itself. Kind of like, it's like your digestive system is going right to the brain, and then everything else is like, we can help too. Like, you don't have to do it by yourself. makes sense. So let's just reconnect some of those centers. Thank you, God, and we'll strengthen that. That should start to feel a little bit better. But definitely, and that's moving, give it about 48 hours. And then we'll pull some more of the inflammation back, but then and see how the body feels. But it looks like with the career, just keep moving in that direction. You get lots of good traction. You're definitely ready. I wouldn't say fear. I'd say it's just when the energy is there, then you're just, and it's very soon. It's already, you're just ready to step into it, and then you're good to go.
One more quick question.
Yeah.
So I just, because I spend so much energy on this, I feel like I had to ask it. So I have this soulmate person I've known for years. We've gotten to know each other in the last 4 years, but he travels 99% for confidential government work. And I see him randomly when he's able to come back, but I get the feeling, and I try and find other people, but I always end up back with him, and it's crazy making, because part of me believes we're meant to be together, and then part of me just goes, I don't get it. You know what I mean? That nobody else shows up.
Yeah.
That I have that deep a connection with. And so part of me trusts it, and then part of me second guesses it.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of karmic ties. You have a lot of memories there. But then when he's gone so much, that's the part your body struggles with, which now it can change, everything can change, but that travel may change for him, which then could change your relationship. Because what you seem to struggle with is that you like the connection, you get it, like you feel it, because there's so many lifetimes, but that always being away doesn't really work with how your body functions. Your body likes to be a lot more interactive with somebody. That's where you start second guessing. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's not at all. It's just how your body is very tactile, likes to be like present in a relationship. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Right. But
Yeah.
Because he's at retirement, kind of at that retirement age, he may choose to be here eventually. I mean, he may choose to be here more often somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it actually, like I said, it looks like the traveling may start to ease up a lot sooner than later. So that's either an exit out of the job or a change out of the job, because it's done, like the travel. So normally when you look at an energy line, it goes up, 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 but his looks like it's on the down, like it's starting to go down, and it's not like he's not going to be there for years for sure anymore in that travel space. Big changes are coming on that end for him, which would mean that he'll be ready to redesign his life. And then if that happens, then you're actually, it works for you. That's probably what you're feeling, that's why it's hard. Like you're not seeing anyone else, you feel the connection, but then you also know there's this change because you're so intuitive, there's another change there coming. You can feel it on his end.
So I'm not crazy to think that it could work.
No, you're not crazy to think it could work, but you're just going, I want a partner that's with me. You're a very present partner. You're not somebody who works very well with the distance. So that can create struggle in the body. So it's like, okay, so there's two things you can do there. I say to people, we can either open it, that if for some reason that goes the other way, you always have another door that opens, or we just allow it to just be there with an understanding that you keep checking in, and you can see that energy of what he's doing now is going to wind up in some way. So, you always have a right to make a new choice, and that's okay. And you can look at it and say, okay, I'm just going to accept where it is now. Thank you, God, strengthen that. And maybe you have you can look at it in another 3 months and see. But I can tell you a lot of these people in those areas are going to be having to shift into new ways of being over the next couple of years for sure. It's not going to be the way it is now anymore. Yeah.
And is there a time frame of when that travel might become less?
He's probably
right now. It's seeing him once a month, basically.
Yeah, no, definitely within the next few years. But again, the way our timings are moving so quickly, I even hate putting time on anything, because what we see sometimes we think, well, next year it's going tomorrow. You're like, oh, there it is. Okay. But you can ask to speed up the time frame for him to transition out. You can ask that. People forget that. and say to show them a new way, and to also that can be gradual, where then it's not once a month, it's like twice a month, or it's 3 times a month, where you start to see the progression. Right. And that's something that we get a very strong yes, align that right now. And your spirit team's like, yes, let's start aligning that. So there's more possibilities now for you to be together to make that stronger choice. That seems like a chill.
Is there anything I can do? Because I can't ask him. He's not ready to tell me.
No. You don't ask him. No, you ask spirit. You say, thank you, God, to ask for that shift in the career. You know, if there's a chance to speed that up, slow that down. If you don't ask, you don't get. So I always teach people, you got to ask and just say, thank you, God. Like if there's a space there to speed that up, let's speed that up. But you are getting the okay that we can ask to speed that energy up for sure. You ask spirit. Yeah. Don't ask him. That won't work.
Got it. I have to join your membership group so I can learn how to do this myself more.
It's fun. I'm telling you, you'll be so armed. You're like, I know what to do. I know how to ask. Yes.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have an incredible day. Much love. All right, we're going to go to Sadat from Dubai. Waiting patiently.
Yeah, Sadat from Dubai. Let's see. Sadat, you are on with Tracy L Clark.
Are you still there?
Hi, Tracy.
Oh, there you are. Yay. Waiting patiently.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. I know we have to shift some more space into the work.
Yeah, because I mean, if I could tell to everyone in the Miraculous Academy, like, you know, what I've learned since I've lost my job, whether it was cryptocurrencies or buying silver, gold, I would have jumped on it that very instant when I first heard you on these things. Yeah. But now with not having a job, it's just getting harder and harder. And I just needed some alignment from you where I can just, you know, get on track.
Yeah, get it back there.
I mean, like you said, you're the only academy where you're not just helping someone emotionally on that point. You're also prepping them up for the present and the future. It doesn't happen anywhere.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's a huge gift, like, to be stable. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You know what? I saw this so much with you. There's some, I get chills too. Have you reached out to anyone in your old company yet?
I have sent emails to all my managers from the 9 years that I've had, and everyone has just stated that we are currently not hiring.
No, but they will.
Looking to re-employ the employees back. So I know from my side, because I know you tell me, I mean, I keep hearing on Miraculous Academy and on the Telegram group that keep trying something new. So I've tried everything from my side in different job sectors, my own company, looking everywhere. But so far I'm hitting a huge dud everywhere, and I just wish I could change that.
Yeah, it's moving. There's something coming out with this old company. It's huge. And I know I keep seeing it. It's like I get chills, like something, because you can see this whole travel space is going to start opening up. Like I'm talking like almost for the point there, I get chills. They know you're going to find enough people. First, because you also have such a love with what you also used to do. And this is not, I want to move some of the energy where you still take this also personally, because I get it. You're looking at one side, I've been there, where you're looking at your family and you're looking going, I'm down to this and I need to move this. And, you know, it gets into the stress, and then all of a sudden the dam breaks. You're ready for that move because your timeline kept moving and moving, not based on something you haven't been doing or anything like that. I want to move that, because you got to start to remember it's not something you're doing or not doing. You're doing the action steps. You're moving through. You are caught up in the blender of, and there's your old company again. You're caught up in the blender of what's been going on in the world. And so I'm going to just start to, there is actually another thing here. It shows I can move around that blender, so to speak. Hang on. I'm going to change it under the stability of your feet. And I may gag here. Hang on a minute. You can see the people at that old company, they actually are like, oh my God, we got to start calling people now. So I'm glad you reached out. You did what you need to do there. They know you're ready and they like you. There's no issue there. So hang on. Oh, watch. You'll probably get 3 things at one time. Then you'll be like, what? Okay, so let's rechange the feet, and we're going to do the upper and lower part of the body. Hang on a second. Sorry, I got a whistle going on the back through my door. Something just decided to whistle through the door there. There we go. That must be for you. I'm like, hey, why is the door singing? All right, let's hang this for a minute. There we go. And you to the work to you. We're going to cut this ending. So we're going to move to new beginnings. Yes. There is a bit of resistance in the body that if you had a new beginning with the old job, hang on a second, that's not a new beginning. Yes, it is. So let's tether this back together. There's some blocked energy a little bit on the left top side of the brain here. So I'm just going to remove some of that off as well. Too much pressure. I get it though. It's part of looking and walking through life. And all of this period where you feel like you've lost stuff, I can tell you it's all going to start coming back. And so I know it can get frustrating when you're walking through it, but I keep seeing like your old company is taking up like 80% of your energy field when it comes to work. Then there's different opportunities. And then what you feel you've lost, even financially, it starts to come back. So they keep saying you're going to reap what you sow. You've sown well, you're going to reap it. And I know that can still be like, I just want that job right now, but it's there. So hang on a second. Let's see if we can just move a little bit more energy off this to get this moving a little quicker. Travel does start to pick up though, big time. Especially when they start to change, all these rules are going to start to shift, which will make it easier for people to travel very, very quickly here in the next, hopefully by the end of this month. Okay, well, they could delay it a little more, but we don't want that. Good. I'm just going to open the heart and the throat a little bit more as well. How does your body feel now? Does that feel better there?
Much better.
Yeah. It's there. So, I'm highlighting we're highlighting everything to do with you. It's like taking a highlighter back into the old company. And then also the places I get there like the dud, but it's also, there's been a lot of like, I want to say protection around some of those places. So they would have drained you. You would have felt tired. It wasn't a rejection of you. That's the big part I have to move out. It's you're feeling it's a rejection of you. It's not. There's actually guidance and protection around where you're going, where your family's going, and what's coming next. These parts I know they just feel a little sucky, but we'll get you through it. Good job. Your throat feels raw. Has your throat been feeling off?
Just the food, no matter what I eat, even if I eat anything, it just doesn't go well.
Yeah, it feels very, very raw. Let me adjust that too because of the stress in the body. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of attention into the upper and lower part of the throat, just so we can move this slightly different here for you. And that'll also bring some more power into the voice, and so stronger to eating, digesting, processing. And that's that piece. And they keep showing again, we got to make sure that the rest of the root of this and the seed starts to come off of where that energy you're taking it to personally. Just pull that off. I know it's hard not to. I get it, but just remind yourself, this isn't personal. This is a shift. I'm going through the shift. I'm doing all the right emotions. It's complete. It's coming together. Just as a reminder, only so you can come from head to heart. And there's your other old work again. Every time I go out of it, it comes back in. I go out of it, it comes back in. And they weren't in your field for a long time. So they must be getting ready to do something here that they just haven't told people about, because that's good. Yeah, very good. So let's let that sit. And then you're on the Telegram because you're in the Miraculous group, and then you'll let me know. And this is the one thing I love about the Miraculous group is that I'm there every day. So we can keep on top of that. Does that sound good?
That sounds perfect, Tracy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Give your family a huge hug and a kiss from me, okay? And your kitties.
Will do, Tracy. Thank you for everything.
All right. You know, I know there's so much transition and sometimes it's easy. I've been there where Sadat's been, I've been there. And that was a year. Like, I don't know if people know that it took me a year to, when I was back and forth, am I going back to corporate to doing what I'm now? And, and I got to that point. I was a single mom, right? I know what it's like. And I know what it's like to have your last $1,000 in your bank. And that's why the Tracy L Clark Foundation that we've been building, which is if you go to the free Telegram, you'll get to understand more of that on the website. That's what we've been building to help people, so we can help people get through these challenges in these times and around the world. So you'll see that come out. It's taken a lot longer than we thought to create that. Obviously, it's our nonprofit, but it's in the legal hands, and we're just doing what we can do to bridge the two until that part's done. So that's where our Soul Sundays fall under, and all those donations go to help people in our community that we know need help. That's when you join a Soul Sunday, that's that division, and it'll fully fall under that new division once it launches with the nonprofit. So right now we're just in the bridge, but those are the people that we've been able to help. This is what you hear. So if you're in our community, and we know, and there's a great part that we're going to have in the foundation, it's a wish, and it's like make a wish, and you'll see what's coming out. So you got to stay tuned. So really, really, really excited. If you want to learn more about what I teach and how I teach it, so you can, and we can help support your business, go to tracylclark.com, and there's a space, it's super facilitator. There's going to be, right now you can email the office, contact@tracylclark.com, but there'll be a place there very soon. The web guy is just adjusting it, where you can put your name, and we'll contact you when those classes launch in the fall. And then there's a whole system that we've now put together legally that you can go, and we can help you with your business, because as you know, I do more group work now than one-on-ones based on my availability. My wait list was very, 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 very long. So this was a way we can also help people as well. So if that's of interest to you and you want to help more people in the world, then get on that list and contact at tracylclark.com. Just say super facilitator, and we'll let you know when those classes come out, what it looks like, and you can see if it's a fit, and we'll have some fun. So that comes out this fall. So thank you again. June 10th, I'll be teaching more about body clearings, activations, and then we always channel. So whatever comes that day, might be new stuff in the world. We'll see. What are they saying? Cyber pandemics are next. Yeah, well, we've already seen that's been happening in Australia, and pipelines and food lines. And so we'll talk more about that, shift that as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm pretty excited about that too. So thank you for joining me this week. All links will be below wherever you listen to us. I appreciate you and I love you. And I'm so happy that you are part of our community, because we go together to grow together. Have an incredible week, and I will see you next week for another call-in show. Same time, same place. Lots of love, guys. Thank you for listening to the Tracy L Clark Show with me, Tracy L, where I teach you how to connect to the God consciousness so you can unlock your superpowers and connect at light speed and live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where together we will unlock the secrets of your body and your life. As the founder of the Body Regeneration Academy, I, Tracy L, will provide you with the insight and simple tools you can apply right now in your life to move you forward and leave the past in the dust. To join the Body Regeneration TLC Online Academy, make sure you check me out at tracylclark.com.